Hey everyone, welcome to our Team Nailed It team meeting tonight. We are doing our personal development podcast club. Kind of doing things a little differently today. So what I did, hang on, let me move you guys so we can all hear. So what I did was I sent you guys a link to, or a podcast to listen to, and the podcast I recommended, and it's okay if you didn't listen to it because I'm going to talk about it anyways, is it was Awesome with Alison. Is it Awesome with Alison? I think that's what it was called. And it is episode 44. The girl, her name is Alison Faulkner, and she, on Instagram, it's The Alison Show, and she is so much fun. You guys need to follow her. She's just hilarious and always, kind of promoting confidence. And so if you haven't listened to that, make sure you go back and do it because it's so good. Honestly, I was like, everybody needs to listen to this. In fact, I texted my teenage daughter and her best friend, and I said, if you guys listen to this, I will buy you a gallon of ice cream each because you need to listen to this. So it's that good, you guys, like seriously. Yeah, it's called, let's see, I'm trying to make sure. Awesome with Alison, episode 44. So, did anybody raise your hand if you did get a chance to listen to that podcast today? Did anyone get a chance to listen? Yay! Kimberly did. Anyone else? Amy did. Good job. Lynn, I saw your hand. Yay. Okay, well, you guys will have to chime in so that we can have more of a discussion. Oh, and Rachel's halfway through. Awesome. And you guys, I'll try to give you more advance notice, but this is just something new I'm trying, and I'd love your feedback on how you feel. But I was like, I think it would be cool. In the past we've talked about everyone just hop on and share PD books that they've been reading, and I might still do that if we have time. But I just thought it'd be cool if we were kind of on the same page, talking about the same topic. So we're going to try something new today, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to share kind of the message that she shared and my thoughts on it. And then I'm going to open it up for those ladies that listen to it too. And I want to hear your thoughts and any takeaways you had. You guys, so here's how I listen to personal development is I try to work out every morning from home. I do Beachbody On Demand. So I pick a 30-minute workout. I turn the volume all the way down so that it is, so you can't hear the workout, but I can still see her and follow her, right? And then I turn on my podcast or my Audible and listen to that. And it's been a great way. It's like so awesome, you guys, to get in a 30-minute workout and 30 minutes of personal development all in one. It's like two birds with one stone. And it's just, you're strengthening your body and your mind. And it's so empowering. Like, I just want to challenge you guys to try it. Just try it one day and tell me how it goes. Like, message me personally because I would love to hear how your experience is. But it's just been so great for me. I just feel so much better. It's a great way to start my day. And so anyway, that's kind of what I did this morning. But I was like, I want to take notes because I just do better when I take notes. So not only did I work out, but I took notes during the workout. And I'm going to share some of the things that she shared on my little teeny, you guys know I love Post-it notes, on my teeny Post-it notes. So Amanda said, baby steps, Kelly. I will start with the podcast, not the podcast. Deal, Amanda. Deal. Just start sloppy, start somewhere. But yes, good plan. So what Alison talked about, so the whole theme, the title of the podcast was called Overcoming Crippling Self-Doubt. And this topic is very near and dear to my heart because I have mentored women for years. Before I did Color Street, I used to do Beachbody, and I mentored my team then. And before that, I used to mentor photographers for years. And I was always just so surprised because I feel like one of my strengths is that I see potential. I see potential in things, in businesses, in people. I see potential. And I see so much potential in all of you. And I see potential in my friends and women. I just see like what they could become and the amazing people that they are. And so it blows my mind when they don't see it. Like, I'm like, how do you not see this? How do you not see how amazing you are? You know? And so I've always been passionate about helping empower women to feel more confident. So I love this topic. And I think that often we get in our own way, right? And I'm not exempt to that. You know, I have moments where I get in a funk or where I have self-doubt and question what I'm what am I doing? What am I thinking? Who am I to do that? And so I feel like this topic is so good for all of us, right? So, and if any of you guys want to if any of you have a thought that you want to share about the specific thing I'm talking about, feel free to just unmute yourself and interrupt me, okay? But otherwise, I'll just kind of open it up after I'm done. So what she talked about were, kind of why we have self-doubt. And she said it's not because you're like crazy. It's not because you're, this horrible person. As humans, we do things when we get a reward from them, right? So, so she was saying that sometimes the reward for having those thoughts of self-doubt is that it gives us an excuse not to get in the ring, like not to do the work, right? Because we're like, oh, well, I'm not feeling it, or I don't feel like I'm good enough, or whatever. We have those thoughts, and then we're like, so that's why I'm not going to bonus qualify this month, or that's why I'm not going to reach out to this person and talk to them about the business opportunity or whatever. We have those moments. And so she said we have that, that's one of the reasons is it gives us an excuse. Who doesn't love a good excuse, right? The second reason why we might, that kind of rewards us for having self-doubt is that we seek and solicit praise and support from others, right? And she said the thing that is frustrating about this, though, is that you can't always control their response, right? So I was just teasing my teenage daughter about this today. I'm like, listen, you always want me to say like this specific thing that you have in your head, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say it that way because I'm not you. So it's like we want someone to like give us that validation and be like, no, you're not, you're amazing. They're not always going to say it the way we want them to. And the other thing is that they're not always going to be there all the time to say those things, right? We're not always going to have someone to go to give us that support or that compliment or that validation. And the other thing that she said was, kind of frustrating about soliciting praise from others is that, do you believe it, right? Because like I said, I could tell you that you are like an amazing girl boss, that you're a wonderful woman or an awesome mom. But if you don't believe it, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what I tell you or what others tell you. If you're not believing it, then it's not going to get you anywhere. So, she, in fact, and I'm such a visual person, I loved this. She said, sometimes we're like a boat and we're like waiting for others to be to be the wind that like helps us set sail, right? But we can't depend on that wind. We can't always depend on others to like be the wind that pushes us forward. So those were just some reasons that she said why it might be a bad habit. She said, having those thoughts of self-doubt might be just a bad habit, and because we've been getting rewarded by having those thoughts. And let's see, I'm trying to read through my chicken scratch. She said, so does anyone have any thoughts on that before we move on? just unmute yourself if you want to chime in real quick. All right, so she said, sometimes so another thing is they said that success doesn't come from doubt. So she was talking with her husband and she's like, listen, so it's kind of funny because I do think men don't have the same self-doubt that women tend to have. They're kind of like, I'm awesome. Like, I don't really have those moments. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they do, of course. We're all human. But he said he tries not to dwell on it. That's the difference, because he feels like if he dwells on it, then success doesn't come from self-doubt. So I love that. And she was like, I love that. Make it a t-shirt. Like, because it's true. Like I have struggled with depression in the past where like I've been almost suicidal, and I have had to learn to train my thoughts not to go down that like deep spiral, because it's so easy to start to dwell on it, and then it spirals, and then it gets worse and bigger, and we think of all these reasons why why we're not good enough and stuff, and why our life sucks and all that. But if you dwell on it, it's like think of it like a bird's nest. Okay, we're gonna have those negative thoughts. Like, okay, think of it, those negative thoughts like a bird, okay, that flies through your brain. All right, everyone has those thoughts. Everyone has the negative bird that flies through the brain, but you can't let it build a nest. Don't let it build a nest in your head. Don't let it stay there. Don't let it dwell. Right? That's the stuff that stops us from doing amazing things. So anyway, the nest is just kind of my insert there, but yeah, I just think when we dwell on those thoughts, like they're not serving anyone. It's not helping anyone. Let's see, what else? She said, another thing they mentioned is that sometimes we, that those thoughts of self-doubt sometimes come from, we feel like, you know what, if I can't be the best, I'm not going to do it at all, right? But her husband was like, listen, there's 6 billion people in this world. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to be the best at anything. There's too many people in this world. You're not going to be the best at something, because there's so many people in this world. So don't let that stop you. They were saying that's a scarcity mentality. And she said, sometimes we think, well, how dare I think that I'm good enough to have a color street business, or to, try to lead a team, or whatever it is that you're kind of like, questioning, how dare I, right? That's another form of self-doubt. And she said, but who does it serve to feel inadequate? Like, some people, that's their drug, is like feeling inadequate. Because she said sometimes it motivates you to do more. I thought this was a really interesting perspective. It motivates you to do more when you're like, I'm not good enough, so I have to keep doing more and more and more and more. But that doesn't always, like, she said it's almost like you're filling a cup that has holes in it, right? So you're always going to be like, striving, and not content. So I thought that was really, really interesting. So then they talked about, well, what, the husband said, for me, I like seeing someone that is doing better than me, because they show me the way, like they're leading the way. Someone that is, rocking their business or rocking their life. He's like, I like that. It drives me. It inspires me. But then Alison was like, yeah, but sometimes that can really be hard when you're, there's like a fine line between being inspired by someone and then just being like, feeling like, I'll never be as good as that person. And She said it really comes down to your mindset. You know, like if you have a good mindset, then you can look at the people that have gone before you who are doing awesome, and you can just be like happy for them. But if you're not in a good place, like if you're not feeling confident, then it's probably not a good idea to go looking for inspiration. So I really think, you know, recognizing where you're at, and even like, let's be honest, time of the month, okay? Or if it's late at night, I always have to laugh because my husband's like, just go to bed. I swear my meltdowns always happen like late at night when I'm tired. It's like, and I'm like, why is this happening? Why am I thinking this way? And it's like, oh, because I'm tired. Like, duh. Frustrations and self-doubt. I mean, like self-doubt and like, and exhaustion, like, and being tired go hand in hand. They just do. So recognizing some of those things. And when you are like, so if you're in kind of a fragile state, I wouldn't recommend going and looking on Instagram for inspiration or Pinterest, or even looking around at, you know, other people who are doing what you want to do. That's not the time to do that. So for example, I used to be, like I said, I used to be a photographer, and I remember I would like scroll, I would look at people's blogs and look for inspiration. And I remember it literally felt like a punch in the gut when I would see someone who had beautiful work that I wanted my work to look like. It felt like they punched me, like just looking at their work was like a punch in the gut. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, if it's not helping me, if it's not truly inspiring me, if it's just frustrating me, then that's not serving a good purpose, right? So when I finally, and I've mentioned this before, when I finally stopped, I had to be like, you know what, I'm done. Nope. We're not looking at any more blogs. I had to put my head down and stop looking sideways. Like I had to run my own race, stop comparing myself to them, stop comparing my work to them. And I started comparing my work to myself. So if you can start comparing yourself to yourself, that's a healthy comparison. Start comparing yourself to the girl you were 2 months ago or 9 months ago or whatever. But when I compared my work, I would look at, okay, 6 months ago, has my work improved? Is my work getting closer to where I want it to be? And it was. So once I started keep putting my head down and not like looking sideways, not comparing anyone else but me, then I realized like I am making progress. Like, and my work started getting so much better. It was really interesting when I stopped looking at everyone else and started just looking at me, doing my thing. That's when my photography work improved to what I wanted it to be. So I really loved how they said, you know, kind of about, it's about your mindsets when it comes to inspiration. And then she played the song, The Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, which was awesome. How, you know, if you want to change the world, make it a better place, you got to change the girl in the mirror, right? Okay, couple other thoughts here that she shared. So I got it. My Post-it notes are like all over. So a couple of things she said, I want to give you some tools for overcoming self-doubt. You know, they kind of defined what self-doubt was. Then she shared some tools for overcoming it. So one was to get excited for others. Like when others have success, be excited for them, because eventually you're going to have success, and don't you want people to be excited for you instead of like hating on you, right? Here's another story from my photography days. I remember one of my good friends who was a photographer, she did this awesome session, and it was such a brilliant idea. She like had, you know, several girls in the shoot, and it was very creative. And I remember the minute I looked at it, I got jealous, and I was like, like, why didn't I think of that? Like, that's genius. And I was like, and so I had this like moment of jealousy, and I'll tell you what helped me overcome it. I had to literally email, I can't remember if I emailed or text her and say, congratulations, like you did an awesome job. And that was a really great idea. And it was so interesting because that session, or that feeling of jealousy instantly left when I congratulated her. And so there's something powerful about congratulating someone when they're doing well that like relieves that envy, and that comparison and that competition. It's like, you know what? Congratulations, girl. Like, you earned it. And that's something else they mentioned on the show, was like, we often see like people's success, but we don't know all the years that they put into it. Like, we just see like, oh my gosh, like she's killing it, and she just joined 3 months ago, but we don't see that they've been on social media for 6 years taking tons of classes about social media and network marketing and all that. Like, you don't see all that, right? You just see like, oh, she's instantly successful. And it's like, no, like everyone, it takes time. Like she said, your life experiences are bringing you to where you need to be. And I love that. I really feel like a lot of my past experiences have led me to where I'm at now, like mentoring photographers, running a photography business, and running an online photography school and magazine, and doing, another direct selling company. All those things have like led up to this. And so your experiences are leading you up to where you're supposed to be, where you need to be. So, I love that it takes time. And I'm going to preach on this one because, you guys, it's all about, our 3 P's for our team. We have 3 P's that are part of our team culture. And that is personal development, which I preach all the time because that also helps you stay confident and dissipate self-doubt. And then positive vibes. And then persistence. And I tell you, I swear, if you ask me, if any of you guys like called me or messaged me and said, okay, what is like the one tip you have for success? I would say consistency. It's about consistency, which is a boring answer, right? Nobody wants to hear that because we all want instant success, right? We all want instant gratification. But that's not how it works. It's about being consistent every freaking day. It's about showing up every day to whatever it is that you want to succeed at. Not even necessarily Color Street, but just whatever it is that you want to be successful at, you got to put in the work every dang day. So it really does take time. It does. And if you've a really good personal development book on this that unfortunately is not on audiobook, but I believe there's a YouTube audio version that you could just push play and listen to. It's called The Slight Edge. Such a good life-changing book, honestly, because it talks about those little things that we do every day that add up to big things. So that's a really, really good read. Anyway, they talked about, and then she said another tool. So she said, get excited and congratulate people. She said, that things take time. So, just being consistent with things. And then she said, you are enough. Like, you're enough. She said, when you hold a newborn baby, do you question their value? Like, they are a miracle. They are a miracle, and you are a miracle. And I think we just forget, like, when we look at our kids, we're like, you are perfect. Like someday is weird. We want to sell them, right? But overall, generally, we think our kids are like the most amazing human beings ever. And if they ever talked to themselves the way that we talk to ourselves, we'd be like, no. Or if anyone talked to our kids that way, the way that we talk to ourselves, we would shut it down so fast. So why is it okay that we talk to ourselves that way? It's not. So don't forget that you are enough. And And then they said the best way, I loved this. She quoted her dad. He said the best way to dissipate self-doubt is through action. I love that. And I wholeheartedly agree with that, because it's all about, instead of just sitting and overthinking about it, because that's what us women do, right? We're like, but what if, what if this, what if that? In fact, my daughter is asking a boy to a dance tonight. And so she's like, Kay, she's like, but what if he does this? And what if he does that? And I was like, yeah, but what if he's like she's thinking of all the negatives. And I'm like, but what if he's so freaking stoked that this beautiful girl asked him to a dance? Like, there's always these what ifs, right? But let's think of the what if, but what if you succeed? But what if you freaking crush this business? What if you raise the most amazing children of all time? Like, think of not only, of course we're going to have those negative thoughts, but replace them with those positive thoughts, and then take action, right? So sometimes we just have to just take action. And that's another really good book for that one, is the 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, because she just says, you got to count down. You just say, when you're scared to do something, you just have to say, all right, I'm going to do it. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you do it. For example, going live on Facebook. Not fun. I don't love it. I'm sure you guys don't love it either. But because it's scary, right? It's scary to put yourself out there. You're like, what if I say something stupid? Again, those what if thoughts, right? But, so I loved that book, because now whenever I'm like, hey, I'm going to go live, and I'm like, should I do it? I don't know. And I'm like, nope, just going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're going live. And I always say, you guys start sloppy, just start sloppy, because when you start taking action, it gets so much easier. It gets easier to go live. It gets easier to host a party. It gets easier to do the things that are scaring you. And pretty soon you're not going to be scared by him anymore, or you won't be scared as much. Okay. Another tip she gave, and oh my gosh, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't think I'd talked so long. But I will turn it over to you in just a second. There were 2 more tips she gave for overcoming self-doubt, and that was to find your tribe and your support, which I am all about. I think everyone needs a support group. And that's why I love Team Nailed It. We have such an awesome community of women, constantly helping each other. And then I also want to mention, find an accountability partner or a success partner, whatever you want to call it, but somebody that you can go to within our team, that you can go to when you are having moments of self-doubt, or when you're having, when you do have an awesome day or an awesome, success, someone that can congratulate you and cheer you on, wherever you're at. Having that is so important. It's just, I can't emphasize that enough either. Try to find a success partner within our team, or even other teams. It's going to make it just that much easier and that much more fun. It's always more fun with friends, right? And then finally, she said, oh, I loved this. Loved this. She said, change your mindset about failure. Instead of thinking about failure as not accomplishing what you wanted to accomplish, think of it as not changing the lives that you could have changed, right? And this business changes lives. That is for sure. I can't tell you, it's changed my life 100%. And I get messages all the time from you guys about how it's changed your life. And it's so, it just makes me so happy. So not sharing about this business is doing a disservice. Honestly, it is. So just gauge your failure on, in a different way. Are you putting yourself out there enough and sharing the things that you feel called to share that could change someone's life? So that's kind of a recap of the whole thing. It was so freaking good. Go listen to it today. But I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts on that. And hopefully I didn't just dominate. I'm sorry. So I know some of you guys read or listened to it too. So raise your hand if you'd like to share. Amy?
So I listened to it today, and it was fantastic. And I actually hired a mentor for the last 6 months. So major money. Awesome. Going out to help my mindset, because I just was setting goals and not getting anywhere and not doing anything that I was just doing the circle. So the mentor that I hired, she did a training, and this will link back to Alison's stuff that she talked about. And in the training that my mentor did for her personal clients, she got permission from a lady named Leslie Householder. And I don't remember if it was a book that Leslie wrote, but Leslie breaks down what physically happens to us when we come across that fear, which I wanted to share with you, because when we're in that fear and that self-doubt, literally there's a war going on in our bodies and in our minds. Actually, it's our whole body. So we've got our subconscious mind warring with our conscious mind. So the conscious mind has a new thought or idea that's exciting. You know, we start dreaming and we start having goals. And the moment that there's three feelings that we're going to start to experience. Fear, anxiety, and discomfort, or dis-ease. Not like sickness, disease, but just like uncomfortableness. Okay, so we're starting to get to the boundaries of our comfort zone. Anytime we come across those three emotions, fear, anxiety, and discomfort, that literally means that our conscious mind, whatever idea that we have, or our goals and our dreams, are warring against a subconscious pattern. Okay, the subconscious pattern has been running for decades in some of us, and its whole purpose is to keep us safe. So when we come across those three emotions, it's called a fear barrier. And that's when we literally have the opportunity to choose if we're going to continue with what we're thinking about consciously, or if we're going to let the subconscious win, and then we kind of repeat the process and go back to the beginning. And so it's a circle. And once we realize that that's what's going on, instead of thinking of it as a terror barrier, it's kind of becomes a faith wall. And if we have the strength to go through the faith wall and understanding that those emotions are showing us that there's a little war going on, then once we're through that faith wall, the playing field opens up. So that's another way that you can think about when you reach those, you know, you're fearful or you have that anxiety. You're literally trying to retrain your conscious and your subconscious are having a war. Who's going to win? It's up to you.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome, Amy. Okay. Who else has any other thoughts? I know you do. Unmute yourself if you want to share real quick. We have like 5 more minutes. Come on, 5 more. There you go, Shannon.
I'll share. Okay. I go through this battle like every 5 minutes, I feel like, because as you know, I'm quitting my job as a teacher. And I literally, and I tell everybody this when I tell them that I'm leaving teaching, that like literally 1 minute I'm giddy and my smile's from ear to ear. And the next minute I'm like crying on the floor, like curled up like a ball, like a baby, crying because I'm so nervous. And it's the doubt, like, oh my gosh, what are people thinking about? I went to school with my master's degree to be a teacher, and now I'm just leaving teaching. People are thinking I'm crazy. I'm selling nail polish, like the doubt. And then, you know, it's such a hard topic, and I go through crazy ups and downs. And I did the same thing. I hired somebody to help me with my mindset because it is crazy helpful. She wasn't really just a mindset person. I thought it was more of a business coach, but literally she is just teaching me, you know, the value of mindset and thinking what kind of person I am, setting my goals, accomplishing the goals, like changing my mindset. And so it's crazy to think how much mindset has to do with your, you know, accomplishments. Has a ton to do with it.
It really does. And so I think it's awesome. You guys both hired a coach. I've hired coaches in the past. I think it's worth every penny. But if you can't afford to hire a coach, listen to personal development, like I've been telling you all forever. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Shannon. It's a roller coaster all the time. Any other thoughts? Sorry. I know you have them. Do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and share them. Because I know some of you guys, I know some of you listen to it too. Were there any like aha moments in there that you had? All right. All right, fine. Well, we only have a couple minutes anyway, so I will wrap it up. But I just really wanted to discuss this. I just think it's, sometimes it's really the only thing getting in your way is that mindset, like Shannon was talking about. And so, such a great podcast to listen to. Let me know if you guys liked the format of this discussion, because we might do it this way every month. So maybe just message me, let me know. I think it's great. So thanks for sharing, you guys, and just keep staying strong, keep fighting the fight between your shoulder angels, and thanks for listening, guys. Bye.